Farm Radio's kitchen. Let's talk about the things that are affecting agriculture while we eat some of Hop Sing's chicken fried steak and jalapeno gravy, plenty of Nanny's yeast rolls, and a cold cucumber salad. I've got a big old crock of iced tea sitting there on the counter. Grab yourself a dipper full. How about a soft drink there in the number 2 wash tub there underneath the table? And there's always a coffee pot on at Down on the Farm Radio headquarters. Let's take a look at ag weather, and let's use the San Antonio region as our watermark. Mostly sunny today, 90 the high, 64 the low. 90 and 62 tomorrow with plenty of sun. A little cooler on Thursday the 8th, 89 and 67. 20% chance of moisture on a pretty much sunny Friday, 90 and 64. 94 and 66 on Saturday. 97 and 68 on Sunday. And 92 and 65 on Monday. And neighbor, no chance of moisture. Neighbor, let's take a look at some of the facts that we can find that might affect the way that our markets go today. In the grains, higher corn prices overnight as the December contract pushes back over that $3.80 mark, which has seemingly become the new magnet for price action. As we look toward beans, firmer trade across the soy complex overnight also showed gains led by soy oil. Soybean prices remain below last week's highs as well as the contract highs set in mid-December. Weaker markets across 3 wheat exchanges overnight as Chicago and Kansas City had a give-back party with just a few cents going back from Monday's impressive rally. Dryness in both the Black Sea and the U.S. Southern Plains seemed to be behind that rally. Neighbor, as we move toward cotton and toward a Tuesday trading day, we see that the U.S. dollar was lower yesterday as President Trump's COVID condition seems to be improving. Last week saw the Dow trade sharply lower, with the dollar zooming higher. Current expectations have a tropical storm to hit somewhere across the Louisiana coast, and that may or may not affect cotton prices.
Where has Pioneer Corn Product Development taken me today? Welcome to the local research center in Mankato, Minnesota. I'm in the main building because it's hot and sticky outside, really humid. And I'm looking out the window at a field planted with Pioneer's most advanced corn trait technology, Pioneer brand Chrome products. The breeders here are excited because Chrome technology works across more Pioneer germplasm than previous triple stack products. So at the same time you're getting strong pest protection, you're unlocking more yield potential. I see a couple of Pioneer scientists out in the fields now. Me, I've got air conditioning and a soda, so I'm good. The Research Center in Mankato. Another place that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. You'll hear more from me later. For now, let your local Pioneer sales representative hear from you.
Neighbor, as we look toward live and feeder cattle, we always think about the fat market. Given the packers have aggressively been buying the negotiated market the last few weeks, overall cattle weights have fallen slightly from recent highs, and that could limit any short-term concerns that packers will be short of cattle to process. Futures trade posted a small technical market bounce yesterday, moving away from that initial support level at 111 by the hundredweight in spot December. Looks like the inability to trade above those levels over the next few days is opening up the possibility for additional seasonal pressure, particularly given the recent rise in the grain markets. Neighbor, now it's time to get some market news from the Texas Farm Bureau Radio News Desk. Carrie Martin is at the mic. Carrie, what's our topic?
A welcome rally in corn prices. I'm Kerry Martin with Focus on Agriculture on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. We've seen quite a rally in corn prices this week, spurred initially by USDA's grain stocks report on Wednesday, which surprised the market with much lower corn stocks than anticipated. Texas A&M grain marketing specialist Mark Welch says he's been pleasantly surprised that we've been able to maintain corn prices as high as we have this year.
U.S. farmers said they were going to plant 97 million acres of corn this year. Well, we only planted 92. Well, that's a big difference right there. But we've taken out 5 million acres. We've lowered the yield by about 3 bushels nationwide. And then the adjustments that we got yesterday out of the grain stocks report, if you carry all those numbers together for what it could do to the carryover from the 2020 corn crop, So by the time we get to next August, we could be looking at a carryover as an accumulated billion bushels less than what we thought we were going to have back in February.
Welch says this is a very good opportunity to consider pricing any unsold 2020 corn, as well as locking in a portion of the 2021 crop.
We may get some opportunities to sell something on the December corn crop 2021 above $4. And the last 5 or 6 years, that has not been a bad place to be. So again, it's good to have your paperwork done, have your budgets built, and now we can have some conversations around what some marketing programs and marketing tools and a marketing plan might look like, given this reset in the markets that we've seen here in just the last couple of days.
Welch says farmers should be running the numbers on expenses and expected yields in order to take the best advantage of safety net programs, crop insurance, and this recent price rally.
Nutrien Ag Solutions strives to help you lead the field by providing access to the latest digital tools to meet today's farming challenges, including best of the best innovative technologies like real-time field monitoring and data collection, plus services to help you manage invoices, payments, and crop planning. Seize the opportunity this season and beyond. Find your local crop consultant at nutrienagsolutions.com.
What's impressive about Pioneer brand sorghum? I'm here in the Rio Grande Valley, Texas, sorghum country, but also sugarcane aphid country. This field is one of over 60,000 test plots. That's a lot of data, and the reason why Pioneer sorghum dominates the industry in yield potential and sugarcane aphid tolerance. A test plot in the Rio Grande Valley, another place that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. Contact your local Pioneer sales representative.
You're listening to Focus on Agriculture. I'm Kerry Martin on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
Neighbor announcing the Gully Farm Division on-site equipment liquidation. They'll also have a live and online public auction approximately 1.5 miles from Pearsall, courtesy of Lutz Auction Service. Contact Dwayne Lutz, Texas Auction License 13075. Call 830-931-4312, or for more info, it's lutzauctionservice.com or salesbybud.com. How about a Cat MT835 tractor or a Cat 12G motor grader? How about a John Deere 4830 sprayer or a John Deere 6-row corn header? How about a John Deere 4450 tractor MFWD? How about a John Deere 960 field cultivator? How about a John Deere 6-bottom 4600 rollover? How about a Harrell 8-bottom switch plow? Here's a Harrell 8-bottom 5 and a Harrell 2-bottom switch plow. Here's a Ford 2000 tractor, a Ford 4000 tractor. Here's a Peanut combine and a KMC 8-row strip till 36-inch. How about a Alloway 20-foot flail shredder, a Bush Hog 8-foot 3-point shredder. Here's an Amco 6-row disc or a Ford 3-point chisel. Much more, including 6 Liston cultivators, at the Saturday, October the 10th, 9 a.m. Pearsall Sale, Gully Farm Division. Go to lutzauctionservice.com for details. Neighbor, excuse that telephone ring, but that is Zach Yonta. He's calling in to do a report with me on cover crops for our row crop report today. So be looking for that report here in just a few minutes. Neighbor, I hear sheep and goats in the alleyway. That means it's time for a sheep and goat sale at Producers in Cargyle, San Angelo. While the auctioneer sells off, let's talk to Benny about what today's action might look like. Benny, what do you say?
Gosh, we're going to have another pretty big sale this week. We got 5,600 to start with. That could give us, heck, we could end up with 7,000, I guess. I didn't think that'd happen. We had over 6,100 last week. Tended to catch a lot of them last night, mostly hair sheep, lambs, and goats. Good many goats, which is okay. And then we've caught some wool sheep, some wool ewes from New Mexico, and actually a set of wool ewes come from down south here down around Sonora. Just people are cleaning up. It's, deer season. Frost starts kind of around here 1st of November, kind of up to about, I think the 8th is the average annual frost. So people kind of hurry up and get things done in October. They've been doing it for a long time here. So
right, their clip and their shear and all that kind of stuff is over with, and getting rid of older ewes and What's price going to do this week?
It could soften up a little. With the numbers like they've been, this is really a lot of times this will be, one of the tougher or the harder ends of the, keeping that market up. So we may see it soften a little on some classes. We saw that last week. We had the wool lambs we had last week. Some of them were kind of lacking in quality, and then getting into some of those old bigger ones, those ethnic guys kind of back off on those. And so
Right.
we saw that deal some softer, especially on the heavier weights. And the kid goats were a little softer. Again, quality would be considered into that deal. We could see it continue with this number, these numbers. We could see it soften up a little more. It doesn't have to, though.
We've been blessed with a decent market economy because of demand for quite a while, haven't we?
Yeah, that's right.
How about demand for cattle this week?
I tell you what, we're going to have a good many of them. We've got a special cow sale slated for Thursday, and we've already started catching cows. They're going to pregnancy test today and tomorrow, but not a lot of pairs. We do have one set of cows. There's 75 head of Angus, Brayford, and Brangus type cows. About a third of those have calves on them, they told me. The rest of them be pregnancy tested. Most everything else is just going to be dry cows. We've got like 4 loads of running age Herefords. That same group, they'll have 50 head of 3-year-old Herefords, red to Herefords. That's far west Texas, out in the Fort Davis Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been selling those. Then we've got 59 black cows will be pregnancy tested, 19 spring calving Angus. They'll be really good. They were already pregnancy tested. 50 head of coming 2-year-olds are Brangus Angus crosses, and then one set of Brangus in them. They've been exposed to low birth weight Angus bulls, so we're going to have pretty good helping of cows out here Thursday. If anybody needs any, need to show up.
Good deal. Benny Cox, producers in Cargyle, sheep and goats today, cattle on Thursday. Tell everybody how to get a hold of y'all.
You can call me on my mobile. It's 325-234-4277. Office, same area code, 653-3371. Or you can always look at the web, which is producersandcargyle.com.
What's impressive about Pioneer brand sorghum? I'm here in the Rio Grande Valley, Texas, sorghum country, but also sugarcane aphid country. This field is one of over 60,000 test plots. That's a lot of data, and the reason why Pioneer sorghum dominates the industry in yield potential and sugarcane aphid tolerance. A test plot in the Rio Grande Valley. Another place that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. Contact your local Pioneer sales representative.
Neighbor, when you hear cattle in the alleyway, it's time to get ready for a sale at Abilene Livestock, and we just happen to have Henry Pickett on the line. Henry, what's sale day looking like to you?
Looking good. Last night we had 650 cattle on the yard with 150 cows. We're expecting to have 1,000 to 1,200. We've got several consignments of some replacement cows that could go back to the country, breds and pairs. We've got 3 different consignments of calves. One's 120-something head, another one's 50 head. Just several odds and ends around, but looks like we're going to end up having a good sale today.
Tell everybody how to contact you.
At the sale barn here, you can reach us at 325-673-7865, or my cell number is 940-733-8208. And we're going to have our first wean sale in conjunction with our regular sale coming up soon, October 20th.
We'll keep telling people about it. Henry, y'all have a good sale. We'll talk to you after.
Thank you.
Neighbor, now it's time for today's edition of the Texas Vet Report. Dr. Bob, what's our topic?
Because of the fear of vaccination, some pet owners want to test the antibodies their pet has against disease rather than vaccinate them. Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Bob Judd, and vaccines have been true lifesavers for many animals over the last several decades. However, some folks are concerned about using vaccines due to potential reactions. Although serious reactions can occur with vaccines, they are fortunately fairly rare. Some reactions are immediate, and some reactions are found in the form of immune-mediated disease that may be related to certain vaccines. For those that would prefer to test for titers rather than vaccinate, testing of antibodies for some diseases is available. Tests are available for canine distemper, parvo and adenovirus type 2, as well as feline panleukopenia, also called feline distemper. Rabies titer testing is available and is only used in cases of importation requirements to certain areas, since even a positive titer will not allow a pet to not be vaccinated for rabies. Leptotiter testing is also available, but titer testing does not correlate well with immunity to protect against the disease, so vaccination would still be recommended. Antibodies are produced by the body when exposed to a pathogen, and detection of these antibodies should be protective against the viral disease. The immune system also responds to attacks through memory B and T cells called cellular immunity, but this cannot be measured. Ideally, a challenge study would be performed to make sure the animal is protected, but we don't want to make any animals sick to test this. So it is possible if you have a pet that is due vaccine, titer testing is an option for some of the diseases in lieu of vaccinations. Titer testing is not recommended in immunosuppressed pets, young animals, which are more susceptible to infection, or pets that are commonly exposed to the infectious organisms.
Where has the Pioneer Audio Tour taken me now? I'm on the Yunke farm in a very important section called an impact trial. To explain the importance, we have to go back in time. 7 or 8 years ago, the seeds in this ground weren't even seeds. They were just ideas in the heads of pioneer breeders. Eventually, those seeds were narrowed down and tested and turned into seeds ready for the final stage of testing, an impact trial. Pioneer plants hundreds of impact trials for each potential product all over the country, all managed by farmers, to help replicate how these products will perform in local conditions. The ones that do well, next year they'll go through testing again. An impact trial, another thing that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. You'll hear more from me later. For now, let your local Pioneer sales representative hear from you.
I'm Dr. Bob Judd. This is the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
Neighbor, it's about time to catch another livestock market operator report. Let's send our cowboy crew down to Three Rivers. They've already eaten all they can eat. I'm surprised there ain't chicken fried steak left. While they ride down to help Riley Rhodes, let's talk to Riley about the sale he had Monday in Three Rivers. Riley, how many noses did you count?
I went good, Larry. Market a little cheaper all the way across the board today, but all got along fine. Ended up with 2,647 head. Cow market, they took a little bit more off on the rail. There's probably 4 to 6 lower on them, and then calf market and yearlings kind of 3 to 5 lower. Some of them maybe a little bit more, and some of them less. But overall, still pretty good market. The better cattle sure. Selling still plenty strong. This time of year, just kind of some of the in-betweens and crossbreds are starting to get a little bit harder to place. Cow-calf pairs brought anywhere from $800 to $1,375 today. Bred cows, $700 to $1,075. Packer cows, like I said, a little cheaper today, $48 to $54 on your high-yielding cows, $44 to $50 on your breakers, and $18 to $40 on your canners. Like we said, they're really, hitting them pretty hard on those small carcass cows, on those canners. Packer bulls, 72 to 76 on your high-yielding bulls, 58 to 72 on your low to medium-yielding bulls. 2 to 3 weight choice steers, 150 to 182. Heifer mates, 140 to 168. 3 to 4 weight choice steers, 156 to 172. Heifer mates, 128 to 148. 4 to 5 weight choice steers, 138 to 166. Heifer mates, 118 to 138. 5 to 6 weight choice steers, 128 to 148. Heifer mates, 116 to 130. 6 to 7 weight cattle, your choice steers, 118 to 132. Heifer mates, 108 to 120. And the 7 to 8 weight cattle, your choice steers, 112 to 126. And your heifer mates, 102 to 114. So got along good. Like I said, had a little over 2,600 head today, and good run. Had a lot of good quality cattle here, and got another one behind us.
That's right, and we've got a special coming.
Yes, sir. Special sale coming up in a couple of weeks on a Saturday, October the 17th, and looking forward to that. Going to have about 1,000 head of good cows and heifers and some good bulls and that thing, and so hope everybody can come out and see us. So going to have a lot of good quality here that day.
Tell everybody how to contact you.
361-813-6650 is the cell. 361-786-2553 is the office. Webpage, liveoaklivestock.com.
Neighbor, it's time once again for Live Oak Livestock Auction Special Female Replacement Sale, Saturday, October the 17th, 2020, Highway 281 between George West and Three Rivers. Here's 50 F1 Brayford pairs and bred cows at 3 years old. How about 40 Beefmaster Cross pairs and bred cows 3 to 6? How about 10 Gray Brahma heifers? How about 20 bred Brangus heifers? How about 20 Beefmaster pairs and bred cows? They'll be 6-year-old. How about 10 Angus Cross heifers? 20 Beefmaster Cross heifers. Here's 75 South Texas crossbred cows, 6 to 7 years old. And here's Angus bulls, Hereford bulls, and Charolais bulls. That's Live Oak Livestock Auction Special Replacement Cow and Heifer Sale, Saturday, October the 17th. Contact Riley Rhodes at 361-813-6650. at 361-813-6650. I'm Larry Marble from Down on the Farm Radio for Texas Farm Bureau Roundup. And for the listeners of Down on the Farm Radio, we're with Zach Yonta. He farms down in Runge. Zach, what kind of day is it in your direction?
Well, it's sunshine, clear skies, probably not a cloud in the sky. It's going to be a good day, Larry.
Good deal. It's always a good day in Texas Farm Bureau country. Let's talk about cover crops and what you're doing this time of the year, what your plans are, what you have going, and what you attempt to accomplish with them.
Well, this time of year, we're making plans to source some fall cover crop seed mixes, trying to decide which species to use. We like to put in anywhere from 6 to 8 or 10 multi-species in a mix. And that's what we're doing right now. We'd like to have them planted already, but here in the last few years, we've had such trouble with armyworms early on that we just hold off a little while longer. We'll typically mix about 3 or 4 or 5 different grass species mixed with about 3 or 4 legumes and have those legumes inoculated so we can hopefully get some nitrogen production off of them, get a little bit of free nitrogen in the soil. We like to plant with a no-till drill, an air drill, and we'll put them into cropland as well as our pastures, our coastal Bermuda and our Kleingrass pastures. Really like the way it extends our grazing season throughout the wintertime.
When you're talking about the row crop, when you're going to go in, tell us when you'll go in with those if weather provides the needed moisture and we think we're past the worm stage, and what you plan to plant into that cover crop dryland farm needs.
We like to go ahead and put in multi-species again. It's very important to really get more bang for your buck. The more species, if you have a more diverse mix, it's just better for soil health. And of course, that's one of the main reasons for using cover crops is to boost soil health. We like to go in with several species of grasses and a couple of legumes in that crop, in the cropland, and then we'll go in the spring and put in usually grain sorghum or corn in that cover crop mix.
Right. Do you ever have to do a burn down, or do you just let nature take its course?
We've done both, Larry. Just depends on the amount of cover that's there on the cover crop and also the moisture situation, especially I think in our area. I'd like to be able to just plant right into it without terminating it chemically, but sometimes that's just not, we have to be always ready to change, and plans may change from one week to the next, just depending on what Mother Nature dictates.
My wife and I were driving through farm country down here the other day, and she had heard me talk about cover crops, and she said, Larry, why do farmers not use them as much down here? And I told her one anecdotal situation that had been told me was that lots of the land in this part of the country is not owned. It is owned, but it's owned by somebody else who in turn rents it to a farmer who has some kind of situation with them to where they plant the crop on it. And the people that own the land have always wanted a clean turn row and a clean crop, and they cannot get used to the idea of that cover crop being out there and that ground not being bare between the rows of cotton or rows of milo or rows of corn. Is that one of the situations we face?
You're very right in saying what you did, Larry. It's unfortunate that we've been conditioned mentally over the years that the only good farmer is one that has a very clean field. Well, then you invite, unfortunately, erosion, wind erosion, water erosion, and it's detrimental really to the biology in the soil. And without that biology, becomes pretty stale. We've seen a dramatic increase in our our rainfall infiltration rates just on some of the land that we've had in no-till and covers for 8 or 9 years. We've got fields right there at my home place that can take over I think it was a little over 7.5 inches per hour of infiltration, it's pretty remarkable, especially compared to where we were before we started that system.
We've been with Zach Yonta. He farms down around the Runge area. We've been speaking to him for the listeners of Down on the Farm and Texas Farm Bureau Roundup. Zach, thanks so much for being on the program. We appreciate you.
You're very welcome, Larry.
Neighbor, let's take a look at the grains courtesy of John Tuggle, 800-288-4453. Number 2 or better, Milo through Corpus in October, D's plus $2, $10.35. Call him Progresso, $8.50. Yellow corn through Corpus in October, D's plus $35, $4.14.5. Houston, D's plus $30, $4.09.5. And Progresso, $8. Number 1 hard red winter wheat through Corpus Christi in October, D's plus $75, $5.99.25. Houston, D's plus $1 bill, $6.24.5. Number 1 beans delivered to Houston, October-November delivery, November less 15, 10.06.5, and Placido, November less 60, 9.61.5. Neighbor, we'll check cotton after this.
I'm a cotton farmer.
I'm BASF.
I'm made of grit, passion, and hands that never stop working.
I'm made of agronomics, innovation, and hands that never stop helping.
I believe cotton isn't a crop. It's a calling. I'm made to grow it.
Protect it.
I know this is important to my family.
Every family.
That's why I work harder.
Innovate better.
To make my cotton as good as it can be.
As protected as it can be.
I'm a cotton farmer.
I'm BASF.
We create chemistry.
Neighbor, we moved 1,910 bale of West Texas, 2,532 bale of East Texas, and it looks like our prices were somewhere between $57.08 and